What's up, YouTube? Okay, it's me, Pi, again. Um, we are back playing Doki-Doki Literature Club. Um, I don't, I don't really want to talk about what happened last time. My goat. Alright, I don't remember what happened in last dialogue, but here we go. There's always at the anime club, but it's not like there'd be any girls in it anyway. The school day is as ordinary as ever. It's over before I know it. After I pick up my things, I blankly I stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs. There really aren't that there really aren't any that interest me. Besides, most of them would probably be way too demanding for me to want to deal with. I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Apple pie? Monica. Oh my goodness, I totally didn't expect to see you here. It's been a while, right? Ah, yeah, it has. Monica smiles sweetly. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talked, but we were in the same class last year. Monica is probably the most popular girl in class. Smart, beautiful, athletic, basically completely out of my league. So having her smile at me so genuinely feels a little. What did you come in here for anyway? Oh, I've just been looking for some supplies to use for my club. Do you know if there's any construction paper in here? Or markers? I guess you could check the closet. You're in the debate club, right? About that, I actually quit the debate club. Really? You quit? Yeah. To be honest, I couldn't stand all the politics around the major clubs. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. Monica, I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. In that case, what club did you decide to join? Actually, I'm starting a new one. A literature club. What was that? Literature club? That sounds kind of dull. How many clubs? How many? How many members do you have so far? Um, it's kind of embarrassing, but there are only three of us so far. It's really hard to find new members for something that sounds so boring. Well, I can see that. But it's really not boring at all, you know. Literature can be anything. Reading, writing, poetry. I mean, one of my members even keeps her manga collection in the club room. Wait, really? Yeah, it's funny, right? She always insists that manga is literature too. I mean, she's not wrong, I guess. And besides, a member's a member, right? Did Monica say she? Hmm. Hey, apple pie. By any chance, are you still looking for a club to join? Uh, I mean, I guess so, but in that case, is there any chance you would do me a big favor? I won't ask you to join, but if you could at the very least visit my club, it would really make me happy. Please? Um, well, I guess I have no reason to refuse. Besides, how could I ever refuse someone like Monica? Sure, I guess I could check it out. Oh, awesome! You're really sweet, Apple Pie. You know that? It's nothing, really. Shall we go then? I'll look for the materials another time. You're more important. And thus, today marks the day I sold my soul to Monica and her irresistible smile. I dejectedly followed Monica across the school and upstairs, a section of the school I rarely visit. Monica, full of energy, swings open the classroom door. I'm back! And I brought a guest with me. Eh? Uh, a guest? Seriously? You brought a boy? way to kill the way to kill the atmosphere. Don't be mean, Natsuki. But anyway, welcome to the club, Pi. All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. So let me guess, you're you're Monika's boyfriend, right? What? No, I'm not. Natsuki. The girl with the sour attitude, whose name apparently is Natsuki, is one I don't recognize. Her small figure makes her look like a first-year student. Uh, Anyways, this is Natsuki, energetic as usual, and this is Yuri, the vice president. No, you know who else was the vice president? It's nice to meet you. Yuri, who appears comparatively more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with someone like Natsuki. Yeah, it's nice to meet both of you. So, I ran into Apple Pie in a classroom and he decided to come check out the club. Isn't that great? Wait, Monica, didn't I tell you to let me know in advance before you brought someone new? I was going to, well, you know. Sorry. I didn't forget that, but I just happened to run into him. In that case, I should at least make some tea, right? Yeah, that would be great. Why don't you come sit down, Apple Pie? The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. Yuri walks to the corner of the room and opens the closet. Meanwhile, Monica and Natsuki sit across from each other. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Monica. So, I know you really didn't plan on coming here, but we'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the Literature Club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. I'm, su- I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. It must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new, especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention, like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile, but it makes school events, like the festival, that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, Natsuki? Well, I guess. Natsuki reluctantly agrees. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monica must have worked really hard to find these two. Yuri returns to the table, carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot in the middle. You keep a whole tea set in this classroom? Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? Uh, I guess. Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. That's not insulted. Yuri looks away. I meant that, you know, I believe you. Well, tea and reading must not might well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. So, apple pie, what kinds of things do you like to read? Uh, well, considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. Manga. I mutter quietly to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. It looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. N- Not much of a reader, I guess. Well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me, and telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seemed so reserved and timid the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. Yuri, you're so pretty. Well, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. Ah, I read a horror book once. I desperately grasp something I can relate to at the minimal level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock. I'd expect that from you, Yuri. Since your personality. Oh, is that so? Really, if a story makes me think or takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. Ugh, I hate horror. Oh, why's that? Well, I just... Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second. Never mind. That's right. You usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? What gives you that idea? You left a piece of scrap paper behind last club meet. You left a piece of scrap paper behind last club meeting. It looked like you were working on a poem called "Don't Say It Out Loud." And give that back. Fine, fine. Natsuki, you write your own poems? Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? Natsuki, do you need that? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? No! Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. Huh, not a very confident writer yet. I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your art. Do you have a writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. I guess it's the same for Yuri. Oh we'll all sit in silence for a moment. Hey, I just got an idea. How about this? Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monica. Let's go. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Then, next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way, everyone's even. Uh, um, uh, I mean, I thought it was a good idea. Well, I think you're right, Monica. We should probably start finding activities for all of us to do it together. I did decide on, I did decide to take on the responsibility of vice president after all. I need to do my best to nurture the club as much as well as its members. Besides, now that we have a new member, it seems like a good step for us to take. Do you agree as well, Apple Pie? Hold on, there's still one problem. Huh? What's that? Now that we've reached the most important topic, I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said I would join this club. Monica may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and, I lose my train of thought. All three girls stare at me with dejected eyes. Uh, Monica's so sad. But, I'm sorry, I thought, huh? The girls exchange glances before Monica turns back to me. I guess I need to tell you the truth, Papai. The thing is, we don't have enough members yet to form an official club. We need four, and I've been trying really, really hard to find new members. And if we don't find one more for the festival, I want to go to the festival. I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? I would feel terrible for letting everyone down in the situation. But besides, the club itself seems pretty relaxed. So if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls, right? Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. One by one, the girl's eyes light up. Oh my goodness! Really? Oh my gosh.
Hello, it's me, Coop.
Do you really mean that, apple pie? Yeah, it could be fun, right? He really did scare me for a moment. I mean, if we really just left after all this, I would be super pissed. Off, woman. Apple pie, I'm so happy. We could become an official club now. Thank you so much for this. You're really amazing. I'll do any I'll do everything I can to give you a great time, okay? Thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone. I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we all can share. Monica looks over at me once more. Apple pie, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monica with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit chat as Yuri cleans up the tea set. I guess I'll be on my way then. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow then. Can't wait. Aw, so cute. With that, I depart the club room and make my way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between three girls, Natsuki, Yuri, and of course, Monica. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in a literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. Alright, I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. I want to go to the festival. Yeah, I like to read. Today I cut open my skin for the first time. It was exhilarating. I think I understand how blank feels now. That better not be Sayori. I'm supposed to be the responsible one though, so I don't think I'll be doing it again unless I decide to kill myself. I left a memento of the occasion below. Okay. Okay, no, you can't just go back. Uh, d- depression, climax. Let's see, um, suicide, joy. I'm just choosing a bunch of stuff that reminds me of my ghost Sayori. um, Let's go infinite, awesome, aura, unstable, um, yeah, I'm grieving right now. I'm grieving. Sorry. What does meager mean? Sorry, something was interrupting me. Yeah, defeat definitely reminds me of Sayori. Yep, sadness too. Yep, all of this reminds me of Sayori.
Hi, this is Apple Pie Editing. Um, I did not catch this in the game, but what is that in the background?
Hi again, Apple Pie. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but I at least keep my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. What? Thanks for keeping your promise, Apple Pie. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Making you dive headfirst into literature. Shut your mouth, woman. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Oh no!
Oh, come on. Like he deserves any slack. Yuri had to be dragged here by Monica. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what, but if you don't take it seriously, then you won't see the end of it.
Uh, can you move? Hello, Monica? Can you move? You really have some. You really have a big mouth for someone who keeps her manga collection in the club room. Monica, can you move?
Hi, another thing that I thought was just me, but looking back, the screen is actually moving. I thought that I was crazy.
Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga.
Manga is literature. It's literature.
Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back, plops, plops back into her seat. I'm sorry, Apple Pie. We'll make sure you put your we'll make sure to put your comfort first, okay? Natsuki, no. What? Yuri shoots Natsuki with a disappointed glance. Um, anyway, now that you're in the club and all, perhaps you might have interest in picking up a book to read? Well, I can't really say no either way. Like you said, I'm in this club now. So it only feels right for me to do something like that if you ask.
Wait, I didn't mean it like that.
Ugh.
If you really don't want to, then forget I said anything, I guess.
It's no, it's not like that, Yuri. I want to try to be a part of this club. So even if I don't read often, I'll be happy to pick up a book if you wanted me to. Are you sure? Felt like, well, as vice president and all, that I should help you get started on something you might like. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention even if you don't usually read. And we could, discuss it if you wanted. This is. How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Whew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Yuri's face is already buried in the book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little more, but at the same time, I don't feel bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Uh, Crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me, and oh my goodness, and our eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry, I was just spacing out. I was just spacing out. I mutter this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so. That's the book you gave me, right? Mm-hmm. Um, Yuri, why do your eyes look like that? Yuri, am I crazy or is her eye like moving away from her face? It is! Yuri? Yuri, what's happening? Yuri, what's happening? Not for any particular reason. Just curious, how come you have two copies of the same book? Uh, well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday, uh, that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy two of them. Why'd you lying? Well, I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decided to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. Glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What are you trying to hide, bro? I should go. No, these guys should go. Leave us alone. What's the story about anyway? Well, I look at the cover of the book. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous looking eye symbol on the front cover. Basically, it's about this religious campus that was turned into a human experiment prison. And the people trapped there have this trait that turns them into a killing machine that lusts for blood. but the fact but the facility gets even worse. They start selectively breeding people by cutting off their limbs and affixing them to. Oh, that might be a little bit of a spoiler. But anyway, I'm really into it. The book, I mean, not the thing about the limbs. That's kind of that's kind of dark, isn't it? You really made it sound like it's going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came from nowhere. Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, bye? No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy these kinds of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot that you was into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just that this kind of story, it's the kind that that challenges you to look at life from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but 'Cause the world is full of horrible people and we're all worthless anyway. This other. I'm. I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem when I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts. My, I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I could do is listen. It's a literature club after all. Ah, that's. Well, that's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? Yes. I mean, you don't have to, but. What are you saying? Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I had put into my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Ah, ah, yeah. Uh, Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. That's. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is reading company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Alright. I opened the book and started the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing, maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri's in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry, I. Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you? I do? I really don't mean to. Sorry, I mean. Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk up until uh, oh, I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's, then hold my book more up between the two of them. Ah, I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn a page. Here. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. Ah, I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way, I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb, and after it flips to the other side. But in holding it like this, well, we're huddled even closer than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face as she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? Huh? To turn the page. Sorry. I think I got a little distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again, and her eyes meet. I don't know I'll be able to keep up with her. Uh, that's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient. It takes you a little bit longer. It's probably the least I could do, since you've been so patient with me. Yeah. When does this game get good? Thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey Yuri, this might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. Huh? No, I don't relate to this character at all. Definitely not. Really? I was just thinking the way she second guesses the things she says and all that. Ah, that's what you're talking about. Sorry. Uh, I thought you meant something else about her. Something else? Never mind. We didn't even get that far yet, so I don't know why that came into my head. Yuri, are you feeling alright? Huh? Yuri's been a little fidgety ever since we started reading. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. Your breathing is a little. Am I breathing? Yuri puts her hands on her chest as if to feel her heartbeat. I, I didn't even notice. Anyway, I'm fine. I just need some water. Alright, don't push yourself. Yuri stands up and practically rushes out of the classroom. What on earth was that about? Apple pie? Did something happen just now? Huh? I have no idea. Yuri's acting a little strange, I guess. So you don't know anything? Sorry, can't say I do. Are you worried about her? Oh, no, not really. I was just making sure you didn't do anything to her. No, no, nothing. Don't worry, I believe you, silly. Yuri just does this sometimes, so it's nothing alarming. Alright, if you say so. Anyway, why don't we start with sharing our poems with each other? Huh? Shouldn't we wait for Yuri? Well, she might be a while, so I just figured we'd get started without her. Is that okay? Yeah, I was just asking. I stand up and make a mental note of where I left off in the book, then slip it back into my bag. Who should I show my poem to first? Let's go, Natsuki. I told Natsuki I was interested in her poems yesterday. It's probably only fair if I shared mine with her first.
Apple pie, if you're not going to take this club seriously, then go home. What?
Harsh.
What? You expect me to believe that you actually put effort into this? Do you think I'm stupid?
I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put in effort. We all start somewhere, right? If you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it. Painful to think about.
Fine. Well, sorry. You'll get better anyway. I tell you what to improve, but you're just better off trying again.
Fair enough. Well, each to their own, I guess.
Anyway, I guess I gotta share mine now. Knowing you, you'll probably think it's stupid.
We're back. We're back. Eagles can fly, monkeys can climb, crickets can leap, horses can race, owls can seek, cheetahs can run, eagles can fly, people can try, but that's about it. We're back.
Yeah. I told you that you weren't gonna like it.
I like it.
What? Just be honest.
I am. Why are you so convinced I wouldn't like it?
Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. So people don't take my writing seriously.
But isn't that the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid.
Yes, exactly. I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem. Seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write about it.
Yeah, I understand.
But the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like I set up a rhyme for the I set up for it right at the end, but then made it fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling in the last line.
So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized.
That's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest here, did you?
Yeah, guess not. I decided to humor her with that last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki is feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. It's just Monica left. Hi, Apple Pie. Having a good time so far? Ah, yeah.
Good. Glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we could do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay?
Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to.
Don't worry, Apple Pie. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know. But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon.
Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I have not seen any clips past this point. This is all like new territory. The Sayori part, that's the only stuff I've seen.
But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon.
Yeah, that's true. Hand Monica my poem.
Mm-hmm. Great job, Apple Pie. I was going ooh in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you.
It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way, it always counts when I put in some effort. Is this the Roderick method?
That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writings that's full of imagery and symbolism. Sometimes I feel like Yuri's mind is just totally detached from reality. I don't mean that it's a bad thing, though, but sometimes I get the impression that she's just totally given up on people. She spends so much time in her own head that's probably a much more interesting place for her. But that's why she gets so happy when treated with a lot of kindness. I don't think she's used to getting indulged like that. She must be really starved for social interaction, so don't blame her for coming on a little strongly. Like earlier, I think if she gets too stimulated, she ends up withdrawing and looking for a long time. Suddenly the door opens. Yuri! I'm back. Did I miss anything? Not really. Well, we all started sharing our poems with each other. Huh? Already? I'm sorry for being late. No need to apologize. We still have plenty of time, so I'm more glad you took all the time you needed. All right, thanks, Monica. I suppose I should go get my poem now. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to be not very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I feel that way, you know? I see. Well, let's read it then. Hole in Wall. Have I read this before? I don't think I have. But he wasn't looking at me. Confused, I frantically glanced at my surroundings, but my burnt eyes can no longer see color. Are there others in this room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? The sound of frantic scrawling playing tricks on my ears. The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs.
I panic. There must be a way out. It's right there. He's right there. Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen. So, what do you think? It's very freeform, if that's what you'd call it. Sorry, I'm not the right person to ask for feedback. It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a lot. An epiphany. Yeah, something like that. I'm embarrassed to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone's better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when we're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy up later. Another way to think about this is, if you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big, dark puddle of ink. Ink flows down into a dark puddle. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Alright, Yuri, what's good? As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional. Huh? What was that? Did I say that out loud? Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face. Is going to hate me? Really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. Huh? That's. I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery, metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time. Really? Huh? Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poems again. Well, I know that. I just meant, um. Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the edges. Along the words of the poem, as if breaking it down more thoroughly. Yeah, okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there's specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers, and having been through that myself, kind of learned to pick up on that. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form fit the two together. The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone. She sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many skills. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki could be a little bit biased though. Biased? How? Um, well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself, to me, or Natsuki. do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily, as if that's a rare opportunity for her, which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? I don't feel like reading all this again. See, Yuri, you were talking about bathing earlier. What's up with that? Uh, I'm sorry I have such terrible handwriting. What? What's the thick of that at all? But it took you a long time to read. Uh, well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty. Huh? That's a relief. Also, I like the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive. Was it too short? I usually write longer poems. Not at all. I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest, since it's the first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghost, Yuri? Uh-huh. Actually, the story's about ghosts at all, apple pie. Really? I must have totally missed the point. Well, I suppose you only did glance over after all. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They often do. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost, lingering in her past from a reigning place of comfort, unable to let go of the past. And soon to be left with nothing. That's a lot more solemn putting it that way. I haven't even thought of that. That's impressive. Huh? It's nothing, really. Yours was impressive too, so. Nah. If anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you. You think so? You think so? Yeah, of course. Huh. You know, I was really nervous about doing all this, but in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Apple Pie. Me too. I guess that's everyone. I glanced around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It was as if everyone's judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Even if they're just trying to, even if they're being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club after all. I sigh. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Monica is writing something in her notebook. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As they read it in tandem, I'll watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What's this language? Huh? Did you say something? Oh, it's nothing. Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand. I guess you could say it's fancy. Ah, thanks. Yours is cute. Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feelings of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. Huh? You mean I have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but it really didn't come out nice at all. Natsuki, get off of Yuri. Well, I do have a couple suggestions. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it. What people did, by the way, Monica liked it. And Pi did too. So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, excuse me, I appreciate the offer, but I spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless of course I come across something particularly inspiring, which I haven't yet. Hmm. And Apple Pie liked my poem too, you know. He even told me he was impressed by it. Natsuki suddenly stands up. Oh? I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress a new member, Yuri. Huh? That's not what I... Uh, you're just... Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you're just jealous that Apple Pie appreciates my advice more than he appreciates yours. Huh? And how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice no more? Are you that full of yourself? Natsuki, why are you doing all this? No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. Huh? Well, you know what? I was who moves magically through his eyes because his apple pie started showing up. Natsuki! Natsuki, that's a little... This doesn't involve you. Taking out your own insecurities on others like that? Really act as young as you look, Natsuki. Oh. Natsuki! Me? Like he's talking. You want to be edgy? Edgy? Sorry that my lifestyle is too much for someone of your mental age to comprehend. See? Just saying that proves my point. Most people learn to get over themselves as they graduate middle school, you know. If you want to improve anything, then stop harassing others with your sickening attitude. Think you could counterbalance your toxic personality just by dressing and acting cute? The only thing about you is how hard you try. Well, be careful. Be careful, you might cut yourself on the edge, Yuri. Natsuki! Natsuki, you can't say that. You actually can't say that. Oh my bad. You already do, don't you? Now, Natsuki, why did you say all this? Did you just accuse me of cutting myself? What's wrong with your head? Yeah, go on. Let Apple Pie hear everything you really think. I'm sure he'll be head over heels for you after this. Suddenly, Yuri turns towards me, as if she just noticed I was standing here. Pie, she's just trying to make me look bad. That's not true. She started. No, she did not. I'm gonna have to choose Yuri's side for this one. Hello? Hello? Um, guys? Um, Monica, can you move? Hey, Apple Pie. Why don't we step outside for a little bit, okay? Sorry about that. Now, gonna cut this recording off right here. Oh, I just found something. That's great. That's actually great. Um, thank you for tuning in. I will see you on the next one if I have time.